Doug Jones. I live on 163 Decatur Street. And Rachel, who's a colleague here at Restoration, introduced me to the concept of retrofit. The fact that you could lower your energy costs, and my top floor tenant had been experiencing, some draftiness and stuff like that. So I was just like, yeah, this seems interesting. Let me go ahead and explore it and see what happens. And also the fact that you didn't have to pay full cost and you can write some of it off. My costs, in terms of heating costs, the top floor tenants again were complaining about, and nothing outrageously complaining, but it definitely alerted me to the fact that it would be cooler up there in the wintertime and stuff like that. And so when I did it, I think I did it right before the winter last year. And this winter, they just said they noticed a market difference. It really wasn't that drafty, and it was warm up there. The house, the heat was being trapped up there. That was a cool process. The guys came and they kind of wrapped the house up. They put that screen across the front door and they kind of suck all the air out, and and they did the blowing thing and everything else, and that was just very, very interesting to see. And then they did tests to see where the drafts were coming through and everything else, and they showed me the little measurements and where my house was outlier in some of them, and where it was within appropriate standards for other places, around the doors, and here's the measurements around the sockets, here are the measurements, the windows and everything else. So it was interesting, and it was just like especially when they were sucking all the air out, it was very, very, very cool. It just confirmed the fact that brownstones are extremely, extremely drafty, and even this one that's been renovated, and it's been modernized considerably, was still drafty. So, the whole thing of using the retrofit to kind of lower the energy costs was great. And I think, again, significantly, I think during that there's always a long month, I think from February to March or April. Anyway, there's always one bill that's almost 60 days long, somewhere in there. And typically that bill is, before I did this, that bill would be about $700 or $800. And between this and I also installed a programmable thermostat. And so between those two things, it was almost cut in half for that long month. So that was nice. My top floor tenants, I live on the street level unit. Mm-hmm. And so they definitely said they noticed a difference. So it was more comfortable. They didn't feel, like the draft was through the house and stuff like that. So it was good. It was their guys, or whatever the contractor came from, but it came through Restoration, so they were very helpful. The contractors explained what was going on. They were very thorough, very conscientious of what they were doing. So I think it was a great program. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it is a great program. If you can save, on average, I would say a good $100. Well, probably $50 to $70 on a regular bill, and then during that long month, if you can save a good quarter of your bill, why wouldn't you use that? I mean, that's a great message, particularly in tough economic times as we're all experiencing. Found money is great, you can just leave that in the bank account or go do something else with it. So it just makes a lot of sense to me.